Hey all, welcome back to my art channel Art by Shital. Today I am going to paint this beautiful aerial view of mountain range covered in fog and clouds. I'm going to do it in acrylic. My main focus will be on a cloud technique, how to paint clouds. Lots of people have trouble with the clouds. I find it really easy to paint actually, but so that's what my main focus will be. Materials are all listed below in description. One thing I want to mention is do not stick to the specific shade of any colors. If I have mentioned ultramarine blue and if you don't have an ultramarine blue, just go ahead with whatever blue you have. If you don't have purple, mix it up, add red to your blue and make purple. So be flexible. You can do it with the limited color palette. You don't have to have all the colors available. Just be creative and just focus on the technique more than the colors. So we are ready to begin. Let's start. I'm using 9 by 12 inch canvas and using a large flat brush. All I'm doing is I mixed titanium white and ultramarine blue and just blocking in the base coat. So I start with the more titanium white, less ultramarine blue, and as I move closer to the edge, to the bottom, I add more and more ultramarine blue, and at the very edge I add a tiny bit of Dioxin purple. Pretty much our painting is going to be in a blue tone, so the base coat of blue gives us a good start. Now I am adding the mountain peaks. The mountain range covered in a cloud is what I am planning to paint here, and I am just blocking in the shapes of the mountain peaks. One thing that is very important to remember here is your mountain peaks that you are adding should not be all of the same shape and size. They should be in varying shape and size. That gives a nice natural flow. And as I move towards the far side, it starts fading away. So when it's closer, the closer mountain peak has ultramarine blue and Dioxin purple. As I move away and away, it's just ultramarine blue, and then eventually I add ultramarine blue to and phthalo green and transparent mixing white to create the faded effect. After we finish blocking in the mountain peaks, I will start adding right now I am adding some fog effect. For that I am using transparent mixing white mixed with a little bit of titanium white, and I am using a mop brush to blend all in a even pattern, and in a gradual transition, and so that it doesn't leave any streaks of paint. So that's where the mountain peaks are covered in clouds and fog. So I'm just building layers after the layers. Mountain peaks, then a little bit of fogs, then again mountain peaks, and then a little bit of fog, and then eventually I'll start adding the clouds. So I am adding a little bit of phthalo green in my transparent mixing white and titanium white mixture to create a nice foggy effect that gives a nice natural fog because the light seeping through it. So, and now after I finish this, I finished all the mountain peaks that I wanted to add. I might add one or two here and there if I find that it's needed. I will so I added few more mountain peaks because there was a lot of empty space, and it did not I wanted to create a like long mountain range. It's like an aerial view when you're looking from the plane. I am now adding the clouds gathered in the mountain peaks, and covering the mountain peaks here and there, you know, that clogged clouds. So for that I am using straight titanium white, and make sure I'm using a small filbert brush to create the cloud effect, and I am moving my filbert brush in a very tiny circles in a round movement, circular movement. One thing that you have to anybody has to remember, that clouds are not difficult, because clouds could be of any shape. The one thing that you have to remember is, anybody has to remember is that you do not create each and every cloud looking exactly same. So you need to make sure that your brush is moving in a different pattern, not in a one standard pattern. Otherwise it looks very unnatural. So right now I am adding the white. I'm blending the bottom so that it looks gradual and fluffy. It's a fluffy but small clouds, and it's far, so you don't really see the big cluster of cloud. You just see that clouds clogged in the middle of the mountain ridge. The edges are strong white, so adding more titanium white at the edge and then blending in the base part. So, and this is how I will be creating clouds all over, and I will be speeding up the video. If you see, once I block in the shapes of the clouds with my titanium white, I take a tiny bit of purple, Dioxin purple and ultramarine blue, a very little, and blend it in at the bottom of the clouds, where like in the dark areas of the clouds. And that transition has to be very gradual. There should not be very sharp lines between the highlighted area and the darker shadow areas of the cloud. I'm adding more fog here. It's a real foggy effect that I want to develop there. So I'm adding more fog using transparent mixing white and titanium white mixture. There's more transparent mixing white and less titanium white here. Just trying to blend the edges there between the fog and the mountain ridges, mountain peaks. Just making sure that it should look like the mountains are disappearing in the fog, and it should not create any harsh difference between the mountain ridge and the fog. acrylics in the clouds. This is our final work. Hope you like it. If you enjoyed it, you can follow along. And this is one of the ways of making clouds. I know many people think clouds are very tough. Actually, clouds are the easiest because it doesn't have a specific shape you are looking for. So I feel clouds are the easiest. So see if you can work with this, and if you really enjoyed it, drop me a message.